Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the one and only and amazing Anna Kelly. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Michael. Happy to do
Uh,
our next show.
yeah, so I want to talk to you about an article I read from that was about Grant Cardone. Obviously, you're in the multifamily space. He's obviously a legend in the multifamily space. But he was actually interviewed in an article I read talking about the three things where people fail, right? The average person fails.
Mhm.
Um, Before I get into his three things, I give you an opportunity to talk about Grant Cardone. Is he in your world? Not in your world? What do you know about him? Any of that, and then I'll bring it up.
Sure. I mean, he's in my world in that he is a multifamily guy, very, very wealthy. And so a lot of people follow everything he says with bated breath and thinks he's the next best thing next to Tony Robbins, I guess, right?
Yep.
I like a lot of things that Grant Cardone says. He's a smart guy, but I think he's a little reckless for some, right? I mean, when you got a lot of money, you can be a little more reckless with some of it. Um, so I tend to be more cautious with my investors and with my students than Grant Cardone, who says, buy the biggest, most expensive, don't care what your cap rate is, don't care what you pay for it, you can't lose. I don't agree with that. But there's
Yeah.
other things that he says that I think are fine.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. And some people like the flash, kind of turns me off. But again, he's doing it because it brings eyeballs. So
Yeah.
respect for that. So let's get to the article. And again, it's because he's talking about the average investors. I think you and I are above average, but let's talk about the three things and how they feel to you. Number one, the average person fails because they lack discipline. What do you think of
I
that?
agree with him 100%. Absolutely 100% on
Yeah,
that
that,
issue.
yeah, that one's like, yeah. I mean, it's fun when you talk to investors and I hear them talk about, hey, I've been looking at my buy box for 7 days and I haven't found a deal. I'm like, I just spent 1,000 days in a row looking at my buy box, not getting anything out of the MLS until Monday. I closed on something Monday out of the MLS. 3 years. To think you could do it in 7 days is insulting. So yes, I
Absolutely.
agree.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing, in our society of the easy button, right? And real estate before about a year and a half ago was pretty easy for most of us. We just had the perfect environment for great rates, plentiful deals out there. And we've only seen easy, right? So in a society that wants everything fast and easy, discipline's easy when you're getting results the next day. So it's easy to say, hey, this is working, let's keep doing it. But when suddenly you're making looking at 100 deals, underwriting 100 deals, making an offer on three and four and getting outbid on all of them, then it's hard. And that's when discipline says, what do I really want? Is it really worth it? Am I going to stick with it when it seems that it's getting me nowhere? Because I so believe the underlying fundamentals of my dreams and what it's worth that I keep going. Most people give up once it becomes hard.
Yeah, totally agree. So number two, see how this one hits you. The average investor lacks patience.
Absolutely. I can't believe I'm agreeing with two out of three things that Grant Cardone says, but absolutely. Again, it goes back to point number one. When things are happening quickly for us and we seem like rock stars that can't lose, it's easy to keep doing it. You get this high, you get this energy of, man, look at me, I'm making it happen. When suddenly economic factors make it really difficult to find really good deals as plentifully. You just said it was 3 years since you bought a deal on the MLS, right? I've bought fewer deals the last couple of years. I've sold more than I've bought, but I've been disciplined and doing the daily work. And it's still, even for someone like us that I think are above average investors, right? We're doing it all the time.
Mhm.
There's moments when emotionally you're like, man, this stinks. Maybe I should take some time out and
Yeah.
wait a little bit. But that's the absolute wrong thing to do. And it really comes from that impatience and that lack of natural self-discipline that doesn't come easy unless you see results instantly.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I tell people, everybody that will listen, if you're going to get in the buy and hold game, the first 3 to 5 years suck. It's just slow. It's until you can recycle capital or at least have the option to recycle capital, it's slow. And I don't know a way to accelerate it. It just is what it is. So if you're coming into this thinking it's a 90-day thing and there's an easy button there, try something else.
Right. And here's the thing, we're at a point in the economy, big economic shifts only happen about every 10 years, give or take a little bit, right? big real estate cycles happen every 15 to 16 years, according to most, statistics. But you're coming in at the end of easy and at the beginning of really hard for different reasons, right? In the beginning, deals were hard, but credit was really easy. Now credit's really hard and deals to find are not as hard, right? But they're both hard. Thing is, you got to pick your hard. Everything worth doing, everything that's going to create wealth long term, it's hard. There is no easy button. But if you're willing to pick your hard now and stick with it, that's where real wealth has grown. And you and I both have shared our stories. I mean, first several years was really tough. And you think, am I ever going to get ahead? Is this ever going to pay off? And then things happen like the Great Recession. We might be heading into something similar again, right? And it could be really hard. But we are living proof that you stick with it a decade and you seem like an overnight success, but it was built on daily discipline, patience, warring with your emotions, and just continuing to stick with it.
All right, let's see if Anna goes 3 for 3 with the great Grant Cardone. Number 3, the average investor doesn't think big enough. What do you think?
Yeah,
about
I
that
think
one?
that I think that that's probably true. Naturally, most of us don't just think I can do that. That looks easy. I could become a millionaire in real estate in 2 or 3 years, right? Or 5 years or whatever it is. Most think that's for rich people. That's for people that have money already or that have connections, or I just don't have what it takes. I don't know anything about it. There's no way I can do that. We tend to either really underestimate what we're capable of, or some people way overestimate and then it's hard and they give up because they've overestimated. So I think it could kind of go either way, but generally speaking, I never dreamed that I'd be where I am today when I got started. It was just let me buy a property that's going to give me a little extra income so I can leave my job and be home with my kids. And it was like, okay, the next goal is let's make $100,000 a year in real estate. And if I can get to 150 a year, then I can leave my job, right? I never was even looking at my balance sheet or thinking I'm going to be a multimillionaire in real estate. I didn't let myself dream that far. In some ways that helped me though, Michael, because I had tunnel vision that was like, here's my goal. I know what kind of properties I need to achieve that number. And that's all I'm looking at, right? But once I saw that I achieved it, it's really important for you to be able to take a step back and not just compare yourself to where is Michael, where is Anna, where's Grant Cardone? Can I do that? But to say, how far have I come from where I was 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year? Compare yourself from a perspective of what are you capable of, right? I had to do that with myself in 2009 when we lost a lot of money and a lot of, stability to say, what am I capable of? What can I dream and what can I do to get myself closer to where I'm capable of, instead of saying, I can't do that. That's not for me. That's just for rich people, right? So you have to dream enough and have confidence in yourself and your abilities to do great things. And that'll allow you to start to dream bigger and bigger as you go.
Yeah, it's funny you bring this up. This is, I've been really clear with folks. This is kind of one of my weaknesses, right? I'm a great doer, right? Daily discipline's my thing. I'm broken in that way. But, I still to this day don't think very big, right? I couldn't sit here and tell you I have some big, something I'm chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a skill or maybe I need to do some more networking or masterminding. I'm not sure, but yeah, that thinking big thing certainly doesn't come naturally. I'm comfortable doing.
Yeah.
It's really uncomfortable for me to kind of sit back and I don't know. It's just weird, I guess.
Yeah. And, I do think, I've seen some different studies on, success and entrepreneurship, and you tend to have people that are visionaries that really are big dreamers and have a vision. Then you have people that are what they call an integrator or the doer. And they're like, I am really good at the daily discipline. I can get things done. Typically, your visionaries are your CEOs and your integrators are your COOs, right? When we're real estate investors, we got to put on the CFO hat, the CEO hat, the COO hat. We have to both have vision and execute daily. And that's really tough if you're kind of going it alone. And so I have learned, as an employee, we're trained to be the doer and the integrator, not the visionary. As an entrepreneur, we have to have enough vision that we at least start doing something for ourselves, like starting a real estate business, right? So I think we have to pat ourselves on the back that we had enough vision to say, we want a different life. Let's start a business. Let's start real estate investing, right? And I'm constantly challenging myself with good leadership books on, am I thinking big enough, right? But at the same time, I think that there's a natural bent to being a doer, that if you just keep doing the daily work, it's going to continue to grow. You don't have to be some great visionary to be successful and make millions of dollars in real estate. Neither you nor I were initially that big visionary. We were just, here's a plan. This makes sense. Let's continue to do it and grow wealth and then see where things go. So getting around other people that can motivate you into thinking bigger is important. But I think there's also, we don't beat ourselves up over it, right?
No. Yeah, I think, for me, it was just get in the game and hold on tight and hope it works out. That's what I was hoping.
Right.
Just hold on
Right.
tight.
Me too. And, even to this day, and I think there's a balance between wanting more and challenging yourself for growth and also contentment, right? So it's like, I still have vision and I dream bigger to leave a bigger legacy for my children and do things like that. But I'm not like a Grant Cardone that says, I want, $100 million dollars in my own real estate. Like, I don't need to think that big. Could I do it? Absolutely. I have no doubt. Am I willing to make the sacrifices to my life to get to that grand vision of something that's someone else's vision? No, I'm never going to have the level of motivation that just chases more and more and more and more and more, because I got into this to have financial freedom. Once you have financial freedom, it's like, hey, this is so much fun. Let's just keep doing more of it. And I'm going to set goals and I'm going to have challenges for myself. And I have, vision for the next year or so, but don't feel like you have to be this amazing visionary to achieve success. Know why you're doing it. Know that you want to get a little better each day. You want to continue to grow your portfolio every day. And that one why, if you will, can motivate you to do the daily work to let you get to a place where you can just keep dreaming a little bigger and a little bigger. I don't think you have to have massive vision to be success. So maybe I'm like a 2.5 for Grant.
That's all right. We'll give you a 2.5. I think that's right on. So do me a favor, Anna, where can people find you?
Great. You can find me on social media at Anna Kelly REI Mom. You can find me on my website at reimom.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much.